You're listening to Life with Herpes, and this is episode 53. Hello, my friend. How are you? I hope you're having an awesome day. I hope you are enjoying the sunshine wherever you are, whether you're in Seattle and maybe it'll peek out for a minute, or you're in, I don't know, someplace tropical like Mexico, or you're in Montana. I don't know. I don't really know what the weather's like in Montana. But anyways, I just hope you're enjoying the sunshine. I am today, and that just kind of crossed my mind. Also, if you have not subscribed, rated, and reviewed, it would be awesome blossom for you to go do that. It's a way for you to pay it forward to this community and to the future members of this community. There is kind of this weird algorithm on the back end with iTunes, and what it does is the more ratings, reviews, and downloads, it organically promotes the podcast. So the more it's promoted, the easier it'll be for someone who is really in need of this podcast, that just got diagnosed with herpes or whatever he or she is going through. They can find this podcast a little bit easier. So that is a way for you to pay it forward. So thank you for doing that. Something you don't have to worry about is you can use an alias name. So you don't have to use Alexandra Harbushka, for example. You can use Hot Lips 97. I just made that up. I don't have any of that. Hot Lips 97. That would be a good AOL email address. But anyways, you can use whatever you want. So don't worry about people. You don't need to worry about your secret or your identity on that. And also, my friend, I want to make sure you're a part of this community. And that is one of the most beautiful benefits of being a part of the podcast, is being able to be a member. It is free. But what's great about that is you get to join the Slack group. And if you haven't heard of Slack, it is an online platform that kind of replaces email. So different than Facebook, similar to Facebook, similar in the fact that you type stuff and write it up, and you can do emojis and giffies and all that fun stuff. But what my point is, and I'm totally rambling here, my point is that is also secret. You can use an alias name, you can use a different photo, whatever you want to do to keep it as private as possible, because I understand the privacy is the most important thing. I respect your integrity. I respect the oh shit moment that you're going through, and the last thing you want to do is come across somebody that you know and have them know that you have herpes. I get it. Totally get it. So that is a fun little segue into this not quick, doesn't matter, story I want to tell. And this past weekend, I was at an event. I was at it's called the New Media Expo, New Media Summit, and not Expo, New Media Summit. And what it was it was on podcasting, and it was about how podcasting can be a huge asset to your business. So that has nothing to do with herpes, right? But I am a podcaster, and so I was asked to attend, and I was asked to speak on stage and talk a little bit about my podcast and how it's changed my life, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and all fun things that go along with podcasting. And so as I proceeded, and the other thing too, guys, is when you go to announce yourself in the room, there was about 200 of us, and we all had to get on the mic, and we all had to say, hi, my name is, and what I do. So your name and what it is you do. So, I get on the mic with 200 people, and I go, hi, I'm Alexandra Harbushka, and I'm breaking the stigma of herpes. And you should have heard the, oh, ooh, in the room. And I expect that, right? It raises eyebrows. It is a little bit shocking. It's the shock factor. Back to the whole reason why we have this stigma is people are scared to talk about it. They are so scared of it to even mention the word or be around it because they're scared they're going to get it or people will know that they have it. Anyways, so as later on in the weekend, I was asked on stage and really truly spoke about this podcast, Life with Herpes, and how it's changed my life and wonderful things about this podcast and you and the community and all of that fun stuff. But I had a gentleman in the audience come up to me and say, so do you get any negativity with your podcast or negativity with Life with Herpes? And I go, well, how so? Explain more. Negativity meaning when people join the group, are they negative? Or am I negative? Am I pissed off? Or do I have, people calling me a whore or a slut or hating me? Explain a little bit more about what you mean. And he goes, well, I just mean the connotation towards it. Are you a little bit exiled? Are you a little bit removed? Do people not want to be a part? And I said, I don't feel that at all. I said, yes, I'm sure people judge me. Absolutely. But people would judge me regardless when I walk into the room, right? People would judge me for the pants I'm wearing, the shoes I'm wearing, the dress I'm wearing, the way I wear my hair, the car I drive, how old I am, how young I am, all those things, right? So I am judged no matter what. And I'm exaggerating on this, guys. This wasn't, this was the conversation, but I'm exaggerating just so I can make sure I get my point across to you. But I said, I don't have the negative. Either I miss it or I don't have it or I choose not to hear it. And he goes, that's interesting because I heard, I was talking to some other people and that's really bold of you. And I think it would really alienate you to be talking about herpes when it's such a controversial topic and it might impact your relationships. And I said, well, that's why I'm doing this. This is why I have Life with Herpes, the podcast, the website, the community. This is why I get up in front of 200 people at a conference that has nothing to do with herpes and talk about it. It's the dirty little secret, and it doesn't have to be. And he went on to explain, he goes, well, I was dating someone and it was about 3 weeks in and we were about to sleep with each other and she let me know that she had herpes. And I just couldn't get over it. And I really liked her. And I couldn't get over it. So I broke up with her. I said, interesting. I said, well, I can understand the fear. I can understand the unknown. And, that's completely your prerogative. I didn't go on to question him on saying, well, had you gotten more research or maybe you really didn't like her to begin with? I didn't pry in that area. And I just said, relationships don't work out for whatever reason. And whether that was the reason or not, it didn't work out. But he said, gosh, that's really bold of you to be saying you have herpes. And I said, well, tell me again, what was one of the reasons why you were scared of getting herpes? And he's like, well, I didn't want to die. And I said, well, that's AIDS, HIV AIDS. That's a different sexual transmitted disease. That's AIDS. This is herpes. They're two very different things. No one dies from herpes. And he goes, really? I said, no one dies from herpes. Unless you commit suicide because of the aftermath, because of the shock, because of the shit that he's going through, right? Freaking out, because of the my life is over. My dreams are crushed. I am depressed. I feel abused. I feel battered, all those things. But no, you don't die from herpes. He goes, well, how does it impact your life? And I said, honestly, not really. Yeah, do I get outbreaks? Yeah, of course. Is it painful? Yeah, it doesn't feel good. But does it really impact my life? Does it make a difference in my life? No. He goes, well, how is it dating? And I said, well, to be honest, I'd use it to my advantage or disadvantage. I said, and I have a podcast about this, I don't remember which number it is, but, if I was going on a couple dates and the guy buys you dinner and buys you the drinks, then all of a sudden, like, the expectation is, come on, like, it's been a couple dinner drinks, like, let's go do this. Let's get this done. Let's kick the tires. I would just say, I have herpes. And then it would be done. But I also used it strategically as my scapegoat. Is that right? Is that wrong? It is what it is, but I used it as my scapegoat, knowing that I didn't want to sleep with them. Now, when it was somebody that was important and I wanted to sleep with, that was a very different conversation, and it was a very heartfelt conversation. And he was okay with it, right? He was okay with it. He liked me for me, right? He was able to digest it and move on and make the choice for himself. And he made that choice. Now, I brought up my fiance, saying, hey, my fiance does not care one bit that I have it. And the gentleman said to me, I don't believe you. I said, no, like, really, like, he doesn't care. Like, it's not a big deal at all. It doesn't get in the way at all in our relationship, in our friendship, and in our sexual relationship. Not one bit. He goes, I can't believe that. He can't judge you for it. I mean, he has to judge you for it or worry that he's going to get herpes. And I said, no, he doesn't. I can cross my heart, kiss my elbow, whatever you want to say, I can guarantee that it is not an issue to him. So it's a matter of having an understanding of what the virus is and a relationship with the person you're having sex with, and understanding what the pros and cons are to that virus, because we all have viruses that we pass to our partner. May not be sexual, but we all pass things, right? Back and forth all the time. You get sick, the other person gets sick, they get, now that's the common cold, which is very different. But anyways, we all have viruses that we pass back and forth to our partners. It's just part of life. The herpes virus just happens to have this horrible huge stigma attached to it that creates this flurry of terror, really. So what also is interesting is, as I continued this conversation with this gentleman, he goes, well, I get cold sores. And I said, okay. He goes, yeah, so I get cold sores, not very often, but I get them. I said, so you have herpes? He goes, well, no, I have cold sores. I said, that's a herpes virus. That's herpes. You have herpes. He goes, well, I didn't, I mean, I guess. And I said, so you mean to tell me that you have herpes and somebody that you were dating that you really liked had herpes and told you she had herpes, yet you broke up with her because you didn't want to come to reality or come to consciousness about having herpes yourself. And here's, so I'm sure that you're listening right now going, oh my gosh, this conversation. And here's where I'm going with this. And if this gentleman from the conference is listening, because I recommended he listen to my show, so he has an understanding. Look, I'm not trying to alienate you or make fun. What I'm trying to say is this is an exact example of a lack of education, right? it never dawned on him that if he had oral herpes, it would be perhaps the same similar type of virus as genital herpes. He thought he was going to die from genital herpes, yet he already carries the strain in the oral, right? I also explained to him that you can go down on anybody you're dating and give her genital herpes because you have oral herpes. Or anytime you kiss somebody, you can give them herpes. So you're in the same boat. And it did cross his mind, and he realized it at the end when I gave him the statistics that 2 out of 3 have HSV1, which is oral herpes, and 1 out of 6 have HSV2, which is classified as genital herpes. When I gave him those shocking statistics, he goes, I could see him think and go, I just didn't understand it. I didn't get it. So, my friend, this is the beauty, right? Yeah. Do I have people probably making fun of me behind my back or snickering? Yeah, I'm sure when I was up on stage, people were like, that girl, or ew, or I don't want to sit next to her. I'm sure there was 1 or 2 people that didn't want to be around me. I'm sure. But once you start educating, and once you start learning, and once you start teaching, and once you start getting the truth and the facts, then you get the information to decide on how you want to live your life. Whether you have herpes or don't have herpes, maybe you're listening to this show because someone you love has herpes and you are in this guy's situation. Maybe you're like, gosh, I want to date her or him. He just told me that he has herpes. I really like him, but I don't know. Let me get the facts. Or maybe you're in the situation of, hey, I've had this for 20 years. I really don't know that much about it, but I'm in the dating scene again. Maybe that's what's going on. It just is so important to me to communicate this. Get this out. Let people not walk around feeling like they're shameful, blaming themselves for never having a beautiful relationship or not having their beautiful life that they want and deserve, because we're using the fact that the herpes as the scapegoat. No, we can't do that anymore. Absolutely not. Please, please, please. So I couldn't wait to share this story to you. I really couldn't. I really was, he was the first person to actually come up to me and say, tell me about the negativity, and I can't believe you're doing this. But I was so grateful that I was able to educate him. And I needed to come across him for some reason, right? In our lives, he needed to know about this. And like I said, if you are listening, I'm not trying to call you out or anything. I'm glad that you're listening. I'm glad that you're finding out the information. I'm glad that you're going to be able to move forward in your life and not be worried. And when someone says, I have herpes, say, I do too. I do too. Let's talk about it. Let's get familiar. How do we want to proceed? So thank you for bringing that to my attention, and thank you for coming forward and talking to me about it. Really, thank you. With this being said, I just want to make sure and let you know that as you do know, I've mentioned it the last couple podcasts, but you have asked me to begin coaching and some one-on-ones and talk about it and maybe you're in the same situation as this gentleman. Maybe you're in the situation of I want to start dating again. Maybe you're in the situation of I just found out that I have herpes and holy shit, I don't know what to do. I don't know where you are in your journey, but I can guarantee you that I can help you with your dirty little secret. I can help you digest it. I can help you process it. I can help you get back to life, the beautiful life. So I do have discounts for coaching. If you are a member, there is a special code, If you are a member, it goes out in an email. And if you're not, just go to lifewithherpes.com, sign up to be a member, or contact me for coaching. Life with Herpes. I mean, let's do it. Let's make it happen. All right, my friend. I am thrilled to be here with you. I was grateful to be able to tell the story. Whatever it is you're doing, if you're in the shower, if you're walking your dog, if you're, I don't know, on the way to pick up your kid from school, whatever it is that you're doing, I'm grateful that you're here. I'm looking at my dog over here. She's actually snoring. I don't know if you can hear her snoring, but she's snoring. Anyways, have a wonderful rest of your day. Like I mentioned before, enjoy the sunshine. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, you can see I have beautiful tulips right behind me. They are the color of sunshine. So that is what just enlightened me to say that. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for this opportunity to be here with you. It has made my day, and I will see you soon.